Welcome back to IGN Live. I'm Brian Altano, this is Eric Goldman. I'm with Vanessa Hudgens, Danny Pudi, and Ron Funches of Powerless.
Yay!
Yeah! Wow, that was it. We're great. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah. So when do you guys start filming your new show?
In 2 months.
2 months.
You're already here promoting it. I love that. That's a good sort of like backwards way of doing things.
But the pilot did have its debut here, so now people have gotten to get a taste of Powerless. There's a lot of comic book adaptations right now, TV shows, but yours is a completely different angle. It's basically a half-hour comedy with a superhero twist. Can you talk about what that dynamic is?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the shows, the attention and focus is on the superheroes, what's going on with them. Like, no one's ever really explored what happens to the rest of the people, the normal civilians who are trying to live their lives while superheroes are causing epic battles and ruckus in the center of town, you know? We work for an insurance company, so we are the people there to help the civilians after something traumatic happens.
Which is basically constantly.
Yeah.
At least every half hour.
At least every week.
I like that you put superheroes on a schedule. Yeah, like every 30 minutes
Every
they're gonna wreck this
22
thing.
minutes.
Yes. On NBC.
Well,
There's commercial breaks.
The leading cause of death in our show is falling rubble.
Yeah. Really?
A lot of falling
A
rubble.
lot of falling rubble.
So I love this concept because I think like everyone has always explored that question of like, or basically just declaratively said, I don't ever want to live in a city with superheroes or villains. It's terrible. The same way people are like, I don't want to live in GTA or Mario, anything like that. So what sort of stuff do you guys have to put up with on a daily basis besides falling rubble and the constant death of civilians?
I guess a lot of the villains interrupt our programming. They'll just jump in the airwaves and they'll just, be sending us bad messages.
It's like, why can't they just call each other?
Right. It's like,
Proclamation.
leave us alone. Leave us out of your little battles.
Right.
Well, like presidents used to do that a lot in the 90s, and then people aren't really like glued in the TV the same way anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
But the supervillain thing is great because, yeah, you just think about, I've read a lot of comic books in my life, and yeah, there's a lot of supervillain proclamations.
Yes.
So it sounds like your characters maybe are, I don't want to say blasé, but it's just like, enough's enough? Is that kind of the perspective?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're dealing with it every single day, it becomes more of a nuisance than anything, you know? Like, people are always showing up to work late because battle is going on and like your train gets thrown off the tracks, things like that we don't really deal with normally. That would be a lot to deal with. Also, just being a powerless person living in a world full of superheroes, you know, it's like you finding your own strength and your own power as a civilian.
Do your characters ever have that sort of moment of being like, we should move? Why do we live here? Why does anyone commute in this city? This is terrifying.
My character loves it. That's
Your character's the flip side, right? He's the guy who still has that. Hey, this is cool.
That's why I moved to town. That's the when I came in and pitched the character, that was kind of my motto for it. I was like, he's a guy who would rather die in Metropolis than live in Smallville. Like, he wants to see the big city life. He wants to be a part of it. Where he's from, he didn't necessarily see superheroes and villains, and he always wanted to see that type of power. So I'm all about it. These guys are jaded.
Numb to it.
I guess the constant thrill of near-death experiences is more fun than just being bored, living in the same town as your
People
town.
fly.
Either way, you got bills to pay. You might as well, see a superhero flying.
This show, I saw the pilot, and you guys are pretty deep dive on DC Comics. I mean, they make some big references, and Hawkman's on the cover of Rolling Stone, and Wonder Woman gets discussed. Is that fun for you to just be able to talk about these larger-than-life characters in this sort of very mundane way?
I think so. I think it's nice to have the support of DC Comics, just in case. And I think that's because it's going to be such an element of this world where it is a reflection on ourselves and how we are powerless. And I think, like, for my character, I'm trying to find out what can I do in the midst of all these superheroes. How do I get a girlfriend? You know, like, how do I do that when they're constantly seeing like the ideal man or the ideal superhero quality?
Right.
And it's nice to have those people to reference, and we've had DC Comics support, which has been incredible, and Warner Brothers. So I'm excited to see who else is going to show up in our universe to make me look like a boy.
So how do you compete with a superhero as a normal person? Are you like, I'm funny?
I guess, yeah, we're human. I mean, I wear a night guard. I'm like a regular guy, I'm like, I'm a person. I'll be there. I don't just
never
peace
gonna
out.
leave in the middle of the night,
That's
know?
true.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna be real safe.
If something happens to our house, I mean, we got troubles, but
But I'm there emotionally, Sometimes I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. but I will be there. I'll get hurt. Sometimes it's fun just to watch me get hurt.
You don't need superheroes to stand up for what's right.
That was very well
Look
said.
at that. Thank you.
We'll have
saying that. She
motivational
scooped it.
T-shirts printed right after this segment.
Your creator, Ben Queen, I know is a fellow big comic geek.
Oh, yeah.
Working with him, is it kind of almost overwhelming? Is he just like name dropping references?
He loves it so much. I remember when we did the table read, he's like, hold on. Did someone just say what reference about Aquaman? This is really a new show, guys. I'm so excited. And like just seeing how stoked he was about the world that we get to dive in was just so endearing. And it's great because he loves it.
Is there a superhero you're hoping might be able to walk through the doors of your company on an episode?
I want to sleep with Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Wonder Woman.
Straight up, I love that. That's just honest.
Lasso. I want elongated man, because I'm kind of like him. I'm stretchy. I'm like, I want to just get some tips.
What, you said Wonder Woman too?
Yeah, I had like this thing with Wonder Woman randomly out of nowhere where I was doing some precariously dangerous things in the wild.
Yeah.
It sounds so weird. But in the height of my scared moments, I was like, it's okay. I am Wonder Woman. I'm Wonder Woman. I got this. I'm Wonder Woman. And just kept going on and on. So
Don't
You
let
are
Ron hear
Wonder
that.
You are Wonder Woman.
You're a
She
strong
is, she really
Italian
is.
Wonder Woman.
I was surprised in the pilot, pleasantly surprised that you guys get a little edgy. Is it nice for you that DC and Warner's aren't being like so precious? There might be a little sexual act reference involving Aquaman that is talked about at one point.
yeah.
Yeah, well, because it's real. I think that
Yeah.
in reality, I think that's how we would talk. You know, I look at it sort of like in between the pages of a comic. What are the people? How are they like dealing with the rubble in the middle of the street? What are they saying about the people who they're constantly looking up at people's privates flying above them? It's like,
Yeah.
what are we going to say about it? And I think it's our way to cope as well, to be like we're human, you know. So it's fun to be able to kind of go there, and we'll see, what else we come
I
up.
like that you're specifically worried about the privates flying above them.
I am. That's just me, Danny.
I guess they're introducing some new stuff to the
I think
DC
that's a good
universe.
tagline for the show. They're constantly watching people's privates fly above them.
So aside from the heroes and villains out in the city, you're also dealing with inner office politics, which I find wonderful. It's something that obviously has been tackled on TV shows for decades now, but very specifically with the sort of the clutter and calamity of the things going on around you, it sort of makes it a little more kind of ridiculous that you're like, why am I dealing with this guy?
Yeah.
So can you tell us about how you're interacting with Alan Tudyk's character?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is amazing. I'm obsessed with him. He's just so funny. But he plays the son of the owner of our insurance company, and he's just trying to get daddy's approval. He's very bad at what he does. He's very bad with people. He's just like the worst boss ever and doing things to spite my character because she might step on his toes a little bit.
So he's like the son of most like rich entrepreneurs that hand
Exactly.
of somebody a company.
Exactly, that's him.
We don't want to generalize.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't know.
There's some similarities.
Just almost all of them, really.
Most of the bosses I used to have.
But he does ridiculous things, like takes away a bathroom to make it his own private bathroom.
That's horrible. That's
Yeah.
worse than like just taking a parking spot.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of like the worst boss ever, but he's just so ridiculous in everything that he does, and is so easily embarrassed
Yeah.
because he puts himself out there in like such an odd way.
And he
That's good though, because that's
yeah.
a weakness.
Yes.
And he advocates for standing desks, which I think is an evil plot against us all. So.
Yeah, come
They're
on.
not fun. I tried it for like 3 months and I was
Yeah.
like, this
Get out
is
of
ridiculous.
You're locking your knees the whole time. Come on.
No.
Unlock those knees.
Sitting is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Comfortable. Oh, Powerless, you guys are coming on mid-season, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, has Ben kind of given you some ideas about plot lines yet, or is it all still in the early percolation
Keep
stage?
it secret.
It's
Yeah.
locked up. We're
Yeah,
not-
it is.
Yeah.
We're not finding, I mean, yeah, I don't know anything. This, you know. No, I don't know.
I don't know
We
anything.
We'll find out. We haven't seen Ben yet, but at the panel, maybe there'll be some, I don't know, maybe there'll be some secrets.
Yeah.
Are you hoping, maybe there is a lot of other DC shows out there? I know it's the whole DC multiverse idea. Who knows? Could maybe
Yeah.
cross over one day?
Yeah, they were saying that it's going to operate in its own, I
Yeah.
guess, universe. So that way we're not really stuck to any other
Yeah.
elements, but also we're allowed to sort of incorporate things as they come organically, which will be nice, I think.
That's awesome because a lot of those shows they're very deep in their lives now. They have a lot of baggage. They just bring it your way. You're gonna be like, get out of here.
You already have enough to deal with. Look at this, you know?
Something brand new.
Red carpet.
So when can
Yeah.
people watch the show?
I don't know.
We're mid-season, so what does that mean?
Premiering the pilot here, right?
Okay.
So that's exciting.
Come and check that out.
So
Check that out.
Everyone will be anticipating more.
Yeah.
And then they'll announce it, and we'll all be excited.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right.
It'll just appear.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you guys so much. This was a blast.
Thank you.
So that's
You like
Powerless.
it?
You can watch it maybe this weekend if you're here. Thank you so much. This is IGN Live at Comic-Con in San Diego. We're going to be doing this all weekend long, so stay tuned.